Hello, and welcome to the Doing the Most podcast. I'm Shannon Fairweather, and I am your host. Today, I am talking with someone who I've known for a very long time. She has a pretty face and an even prettier heart.
Aww.
Boston's beauty queen, Miss Zoe Bucuvalas. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to do this.
This is awesome, and we were just talking a little bit before this podcast, and we were just going off, so I have a feeling we are going to have a lot to talk about, a couple tangents to go off on here, so I'm very excited to have you here. So, Zoe, every time I go out in Boston, I feel like I meet someone who knows you.
Really?
Yes, like you are always that common connection for me. But for our listeners who might not know you, who is Zoe Bucuvalas?
Oh
Give us a little background.
That's a tough question.
I want to hear it from your perspective.
All right. Well, I am from Quincy, so I'm a Boston girl, a big sports fan. I was a Patriots cheerleader from 2013 to 2017, and during that time, I got to attend 2 winning Super Bowls, really great Super Bowls too. So 49 was when Butler caught that interception, and we won with seconds left, so crazy. And Super Bowl 51, which was the comeback against Atlanta. That was my last game as a cheerleader. That was wild. So I did that and met just the best people. I think that's actually how I met your mom and started Dirty Water. So it was just like the absolute best experience. And I think that's how I really branched out and met a lot of people here in Boston. And that opened a lot of doors for me. I started doing Dirty Water, which I still do and love. Started modeling, signed with Maggie, and then signed with MMG in New York. So I've been doing that. And just now I'm really into trying to give back and find initiatives to give back. So I know you were amazing. You bought one of my sports bras. We started the ALS initiative for my mom, the Fight Initiative, with The Label, which is a Boston clothing brand. So I just am someone who likes to give back. I don't know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's the perfect description of you. And you're also just a really good time and overall very positive person every time. Yes, I always love being with you. But let's start off with your Patriots cheerleader experience because I know that was kind of what got you started in a lot of what you're doing right now. So tell me a little bit what that experience was like. How did you get involved? And it seems like all your best friends now are Patriots cheerleaders. Tell me a little bit about the Patriots cheerleader experience.
Sure. So when I was, I think about 7 years old, the Patriots cheerleaders came to my school. I was in, I think, first grade, so I might have been 6. And they performed at a fundraiser for my school. And I just remember thinking they were just so, like, beautiful and energetic and vibrant. They had these big red, white, and blue pom-poms, and their uniforms reminded me of Wonder Woman. So I remember like running home telling my mom, I want to be a Patriots cheerleader when I grow up. So she went out and she bought me pom-poms, and I would just like dance around in my room with my pom-poms. I started cheering in 2nd grade and then cheered all through high school. I didn't cheer in college. I graduated from UMass Amherst, and then I think maybe the year after, I wanted to get my dog. I had a little Yorkie, and I wanted to get her a Patriots t-shirt. And I went on the website and saw there was an audition announcement. And I thought, I'm going to do it. So I didn't tell anybody. Funny story. I mean, like, I had never taken a headshot. I had no clue what I was doing. I'd never done anything like this. So I didn't know where to get pictures. And the deadline was like maybe 4 days out.
Oh, my gosh.
So I just started Googling, calling photographers. No one could get me pictures and have them edited and then send them. You have to mail them. You can't drop them off physically. You have to mail them to Gillette. So I went to the mall, and I went to this little kids picture place. And it was around Easter, so they had like live chickens and bunnies. And I went up to the front, and I said to the woman, like, I need to do like bikini pictures. Like, I know they're literally, the waiting room is like 1-year-olds, like infants. I'm like, I need to do like bikini pictures. She's like, okay, like I got you, girl. Like, you're fine. I do all kinds of photography. You're fine. So I'm like, I can't walk out like in a bikini. It's like kind of winter. Like, I'm gonna look weird in this waiting room sitting there with high heels and a bikini on with like infants. So she brings me to the bathroom. I put my bathing suit on with my like 6-inch stilettos. I put a winter coat over it. I felt like such a slut.
All the parents must have been like, what is going on here?
Happening? So like, I'm in the waiting room like with my like long winter jacket. It's my turn. I go in. And she starts like photographing me, totally normal. It was like my first photo shoot, if you want to call it that. And she's like, okay, like, I'm going to have you lay down on the floor. And I'm thinking in my head, like, why do I need to, like, lay down on the floor? Like, I don't need sexy pictures. I just need, like, they want to see your body.
Right.
So I lay down on the floor and I'm, like, posing and, like, doing the most.
Literally doing
the most. And
in the mall.
Right. And I looked to my right and there weren't, like, rooms. They were like curtains.
Yeah.
So the curtain didn't go to the floor. There was like this much space.
Yeah.
And I'm on the floor and I look and I can see like all the parents with all their kids. And I'm just like laying on the ground in this bikini with heels, like posing. I just wanted to
Oh
die.
my God. How'd they come out?
They came out like okay. They came out okay. So
do you take any pictures with any animals?
No, I should have.
You absolutely should have.
I should have. Some chickens.
That's so funny.
That actually would have been great.
They clearly were pretty good because you got the gig.
Well, so that was 2012. So I made it through every round, made it to boot camp, and I got cut the final day when they announced the team. And I remember reading the email and thinking, wow, I wanted that so much more than I thought I did. And looking back, I think if I had gotten it that year, it just would have felt so easy and I wouldn't have appreciated it as much as I did. And I remember emailing the coach, Tracy. She was the coach at the time. And I said, like, I hope you have the best season. I hope you guys go to Super Bowl. I will be back next year. Like, thank you for everything. And literally every single day after I got that email saying I didn't make the team was like, I would work out. I would eat right. Like, everything was to prep me to make it the next year. And I went back and I did end up making it the next year. And I was just so much more appreciative of it.
And probably more ready as well.
I was, yeah.
So you took that whole year. You really decided you wanted something and went for it.
Exactly. And I got professional pictures taken at a non-children's.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I had Julie on the podcast, obviously, as well. And we were talking about being a Patriots cheerleader and that whole experience. Yeah. And she was talking about the mental aspects of it. How was it for you to almost be comparing yourself to other girls, to be in a very competitive experience like that, specifically when it comes to looks, because that's obviously a huge part of being a Patriots cheerleader?
So I think for me, I never really looked at it in a competitive way.
Yeah.
I always felt like every girl kind of had her place. Our coach would always say you're all pieces to a puzzle. So we'd have a redhead, we'd have a blonde, someone with dark hair. I never once felt like the girls were my competition. And I think that's what I liked about it, even in boot camp.
Yeah.
It's like, if you see a girl with, at the time I was brunette, with dark hair and light eyes, like, it's quite possible that only one of you are making it. But everybody for the most part is still so supportive and encouraging. And it really is a sisterhood. So for me, I didn't feel that way. I think the only thing that was hard for me with being a cheerleader was body image. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing that was hard. Honestly, I had the best experience. Like, the girls I met are all
I've
of
heard
my
really,
best
really
friends,
positive things.
And everybody's so supportive and encouraging. Like, if you have a breakup, if you have a death in your family, if you get, a job promotion, they're the first people to cheer you on and be there for you. But I think the only thing that was difficult for me was probably the body image piece of it.
Right.
I mean, you're in a tiny uniform. Your pictures on the Patriots website, there's so many people looking at those pictures. And some people are really mean.
Right.
And
you're very young, too. This is a very new experience for you. And all of a sudden, you're in front of all these people. That must have been difficult mentally in some way.
So, you might move the wrong way and someone gets a picture of you and it looks like you have a roll because, like, when you move, your skin's going to move. You're going to have a roll no matter how thin you are or how in shape you are. And people will nitpick you and say horrible things. And it's definitely weird putting myself out there. Social media wasn't as crazy in 2013 when I first started. It probably was when I finished in 2017. Yeah. But it was kind of Instagram was kind of coming up.
Right.
So it definitely evolved as I was on the team. But I think, I still have issues. No matter how thin I am, I still think I'm fat. And I still, it's definitely that mental aspect of having to look a certain way definitely stuck with me.
And this is something you feel you still deal with?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
I've never talked about this.
So I actually had an eating disorder myself my sophomore year of college. And this was when I went through my severe anxiety as well. And I was essentially eating like 600 to 800 calories a day. It was very, very dangerous. And I just kept losing weight. And it happened right after I gained the freshman 15. So I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I'm fat. And I just lost all this weight. And it was really hard because mentally I was struggling too, because with an eating disorder, you're not supplying your body with the nutrients that it needs. So your brain chemicals get all fucked up, which causes, lack of dopamine, all these issues in your brain to kind of like fire, like something's wrong because something is wrong. You're lacking nutrients. And so I just reflect on that a lot because I've been on kind of what I like to call like a self-help journey the past year or two or so. I've really been connecting with myself spiritually, and self-love is just so important because you can only give to the world as much as you give to yourself, and as much love as you have for yourself is what you can give to others. And in some cases, a lot of people will love others so much they don't even love themselves. So that love is it's what makes the world goes around truly, and just really is. In all forms. So when it comes to body image, what's helped me the most is if you think you look a certain way, you're gonna look that way.
It's so true.
So if you wake up in the morning, and I was actually watching this video about this multi-millionaire. He's this amazingly strong, gorgeous man. Yeah. And he essentially went from zero to a millionaire, like just completely turned his life around. And one of his morning practices was 10 minutes of affirmations in his mirror.
Oh, I need to try that.
Just being like, I love this about myself. I love this about myself. And really just feeling those things that you actually love about yourself. Yeah. Because it's a practice. It's a practice because specifically with you, who was in this environment with really young, you were really young. So just self-love, so impressionable, can be really insecure, but then also like extreme situations. You're a fucking Patriots cheerleader. There's all these fans. There's all these photo shoots. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, you're out in front of like literally 70,000 people.
Exactly.
And everybody's snapping pictures.
Exactly. And it's all about your looks at that point. So that experience can literally still be in your body in the sense of how you think about yourself and what you expect out of yourself.
I can't imagine me ever not having body dysmorphia. I hate to say that, and I'm never open about it. Maybe
thank you for being
Julia,
so. Yeah.
Like she's my best friend. We'll talk about it, but it's hard. Literally, like the other day, I was thinking, oh my God, I've gained weight. I feel super fat. I hate that word fat, but whatever. I will say it. That's how I felt.
Yeah, it's how you were feeling.
And I got on the scale, and I literally weighed the exact same much that I weighed at my skinniest. And it's like, okay, it really is a state of mind. It's a mental thing. I'm like, I literally weigh the same amount.
It absolutely is a mental thing. And obviously, like I could tell you literally look stunning, amazing. You always do. You always look the same beautiful Zoe that I know. But it has to be something that you feel within yourself.
It really does.
It really does. And it's a practice. It's not something that can just happen. But just once you practice it and kind of start making efforts towards self-love, and like I don't even weigh myself anymore,
So I threw my scale away for 6 months.
Yeah.
And it was very freeing. I did recently go buy another one because I thought I gained weight, and I was the same amount of weight, and it was
so maybe it's time to throw it away again.
In my head.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I started the team, even the way I would look at pictures, when I started the team, I would just post a picture.
Yeah.
I didn't care about lighting. I didn't care about how many likes I was going to get, or, do I have a filter on it? Can you see if I have texture to my skin? Like all of those things. And then I made the team my first year, and I think I was a fine weight.
Yeah.
And then by year 2, I was like, okay, no, I need to lose weight. And I think I lost like 18 pounds.
That's insane.
I was probably eating like a bowl of Cheerios in the morning and like a piece of chicken at night.
Yeah.
And I made the cover of the calendar, and I felt like I looked amazing. And I look back now, and I kind of looked like a bobblehead. My body was so thin.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting my period.
Right.
It wasn't healthy.
Right, but you got that validation at the end of the day. Yeah. So like it's so hard because you can't blame yourself, know, because it really was, at least I feel like things are changing now, but it really was prioritized to be and this skinny little teeny thing. The skinnier you are, the prettier you are. Like that's how I feel like young girls were made to feel for so long.
And I do take accountability because, listen, I knew going into it that it was something that was maybe like 80% looks. I will say our coach really vetted the girls. She did extensive interviews. She made sure that people were articulate, that they were educated, that they could have a conversation. They knew about football. They had personality and charisma. So all of the girls are well-rounded. Yeah. But, I mean, if you're being honest, you do have to look a certain way in a uniform.
Right.
And so I knew going into it that was going to be the case. So I do hold accountability for that, but I think it's important. I get concerned for like the young girls that look up. So many young girls would come up to us like, I want to be a Patriots cheerleader. I want to be a cheerleader. And I think it's important to set an example for them. And I feel like someone like Camille, like she's a great example for just loving your body and owning your skin.
She's
and
so
I think
amazing.
We need more people like that. Yeah,
I love her. Amazing, yeah. But you are her best friend for a reason because you are so amazing too.
And she's very spiritual like I am, like you're saying you are. Like I'm all about spirituality and energy, and I'm going through like a very spiritual self-love thing as well. So I feel you on that.
I bet. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I'd say for the past, it's been, since I really graduated college and like just growing up in general, I feel like everyone goes through some sort of self journey.
Yeah.
But for me, the past 6 months or so, I've really just been getting in touch with what feels like something bigger than myself, something larger than myself.
Yeah.
It could be my higher self. It could be the universe. It could be what some call God in a sense. But I've just been really connecting with that. And I find that the more I connect with this higher side of myself and the world, the better my life gets. So
I totally agree.
Tell me a little bit about your experience, because obviously you went through something very, very difficult like 6 months ago or so. And I bet that must have been so difficult for you, but let's get into that a little bit if you're open to it.
I'm open to anything. Whatever you talk about. I'm very transparent.
I know, I love you for that so much.
I don't know. I've been a little bit on a spiritual journey. I actually started. So one of my best friends, she's really big into astrology. And so she's like, let me run your natal chart. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is. Do you know what a natal chart is? Okay, yes. I figured you did, but. And I just started reading all about astrology and my chart, and it just kind of all made sense. And then we started doing yoga, and then it just kind of snowballed.
Yes.
And I'm really big into manifesting.
Me too.
And so Camille kind of got me into the manifesting thing, and it is real. So I have a journal. I like to journal every morning. My boyfriend and I will wake up. We will do 3 goals we have for the day and 3 things we're appreciative.
Oh, I love that.
I think it's so important to show gratitude and be thankful to the universe or God or whatever you believe in. So it's kind of like where I am now. I'm trying to just be thankful. I'm trying to manifest. I'll manifest in my journal and write down, things as if they've already happened that I want to happen, and just kind of like picture them happening. I think meditating is so important.
Absolutely. I'm a huge meditator. Yeah. My daily routines consist of waking up in the morning, having some coffee, having some water, moving around a little bit, but then journaling. And essentially what I usually do is write a couple things down that I'm grateful for. I do some affirmations. I am intelligent. I am funny. I am loving. I am beautiful. And then I have an actual entire list of things that I want to manifest. And
I love that.
I love to do I'm so happy and grateful now that ... and just fill up that one. It's a very Bob Proctor-esque, but being able to connect with something that you want, and you if you're able to envision yourself attaining something that you want or doing something that you want to do, and almost feel like what that could feel like, it does something to your subconscious, which
it does
essentially creates ideas and momentum and what some people like to call downloads in terms of what are the next steps to getting there. So it's very real.
It is very, very real.
It's very real.
It's funny because maybe 2 years ago, if you sat here and told me, like, you write, whatever it is, whatever you want to manifest, and then it's going to happen because you wrote it down and you felt it, I'd be like, okay, Shannon.
Yes.
But now doing it, it's a real thing.
Oh, it's such a real thing.
It really is.
It's such a real thing. But a huge part of it as well, to go back to self-love, is the affirmations and in loving yourself, because you have to believe in yourself and love yourself and think you're worthy of these things in order to attain them. Because if you don't think you're worthy for XYZ, then it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So I think when it comes back to your body dysmorphia, I think this could literally be something that you could manifest about, I
don't know why, but I've never actually thought about connecting those two things.
You could totally, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm happy and confident in my body. If you wrote that down every day, you would just start to feel that way.
I'm going to do that.
You should do that.
No, I actually love that. I don't know why I've never connected those two things.
It's just sometimes it's because we haven't talked yet, you know?
I'm meant to be here and have this conversation with you.
Exactly, because, if you're not to keep highlighting, your struggles, but I think our struggles are such great conversations because that's where growth comes from. That's where change comes from. And that kind of highlights, where we can be better in ourselves, Like something I struggled for a really long time was being alone. Like I really struggled to be alone. And
I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
I hate being alone.
It's because it's a self-love thing.
I hate being alone.
I know. It can be hard.
I really do.
I love it now though.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not there yet.
But you know what else? I have a lot of things that I love to do by myself. Do you feel like you have a lot of things that you love to do by yourself?
I just like to talk. And when I don't have someone to talk to, I get lonely.
I know.
So if I'm alone, I'll start FaceTiming people. I'll talk on the phone.
I used to be the same way.
I always have my dog with me.
Yes.
Maybe I'm codependent. I need to work on this.
Yes, but you're so fucking transparent and open about these things, So, that's the biggest thing. So many people that I know, I know these people have to be my friends or my family. And I'm I try to be all right, so this is maybe where you could grow a little bit. They're no, I'm not that way. You're totally owning everything.
You have to. That's the only way you're going to grow.
Exactly.
Everyone can benefit from growing. So that's the only way you're going to do that. Yeah.
So let's talk a little self-love here because the more you're able to love yourself, the more you'll be able to hang out by yourself. And hang out with by yourself is the best because when you're just alone with your thoughts, that's where the life-changing moments can happen.
Your creative moments.
Yes. And that's when the universe can really flow through you in a sense. You know what I mean?
I like that.
You know what I mean? So we were talking a little bit earlier about, just what you're up to right now in terms of work and everything. But what if you created some time to just go for a walk by yourself or go for a drive by yourself or listen to an audiobook and go for a little drive. And
all right, this is good. I'm going to make a list of everything.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to sound preachy at all. This is just fun.
No, I agree
This is fun. You know what I mean?
It's something that I actively try to work on because I don't like being alone.
And you're so busy too, so it can be so hard to find time for yourself. But if that means, what time do you wake up?
So I wake up pretty early. So I'll wake up around 7, but I'm very slow moving. I love my mornings, especially I love my mornings with Danny. He's my boyfriend. We'll just hang out and talk for a little bit. We'll have breakfast together. He'll have his coffee or tea or whatever in the morning. We'll do affirmations. We'll do our goals for the day or for the week.
That's awesome.
What we're grateful for. And we love spending time together in the morning. So it's kind of my morning thing. And then, I'm always full glam. So then I take my time doing my hair and makeup.
Of course. So what if while you were getting ready, you just started listening to some audiobooks or something that would lead you in the direction that you want to be in? So a couple recommendations that I love. The 5 a.m. Club is really, really, really good.
Do you get up at 5 a.m.?
No. Okay. But some days I do.
I'm oh my God.
Some days I do though. I love when I can. Last winter, my boyfriend and I were waking up in the winter at 5 a.m. watching the sunrise, having a morning routine,
so
and then getting stuff done, I
love that actually.
So the morning's a magical time. So the 5 a.m. Club I highly recommend. It's a great way to it essentially recommends practices to implement in your morning that guarantee
you're gonna text this.
Oh yes, I'll remind you. Right. I guarantee a successful day because successful days equals successful weeks, which equals a successful life.
Yeah. It does.
So that book's really, really good. But The Power of Now is really, really good too because it helps you remove that voice in your head, the voice that tells you, you're fat or you're not good enough or you're not pretty or maybe you shouldn't have said that. It's negativity is something that our brain has created to help us stay alive, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, so as humans, in having a human experience, we have this ego, and the ego is very fear-based and very negativity-based because it's a survival tool in a sense. Because
I feel that's what we're going through now in the world. A lot of fear and a lot of negativity.
A lot of fear and a lot of but it's all what you focus on, So with, say, COVID or, just the state of the world right now, if you focus in on the news and...
I stopped watching it.
Oh, me too.
I had
to.
I had to. I still watch things to know what's going on. Yeah. But for the most part, I can't. At the beginning of this whole thing, I was glued to the news. And it was creating such fear and anxiety. Yeah. And I stopped. Instagram, I was following all of these political sites. I actually stopped following them too. Because I'm it's just negative energy. And it makes me angry or anxious or whatever. And I just was I don't need this in my life. So I'm removing it all.
Literally what you focus on is what you become. Yeah. So I love the quote, you become a combination of the books you read and the people you surround yourself with. Yeah. The books you read can also be equated to the content you listen to, what you're watching. Of course, like TikToks and all forms of media could be that book side of things. But it's really true because just our brains just literally take in all the stimuli, have it be information, the news, conversations, energy. At the end of the day, it's all energy. Yeah, so if you're getting a lot of negative energy, like, oh, this many people died today and there was this shooting, and then you go and you talk to some people and they're telling you about the fights that they got in with their coworkers and they're complaining about the traffic and there's just all this negativity, how do you think that's going to transmute in your body?
Absolutely.
You know, so if you just keep feeding yourself positivity, have it be through awesome content or affirmations, then you're going to be a more positive person.
I agree with you.
You know?
Yeah.
And when you think about it too, like, where me and my boyfriend were talking about this today, like, what's going on in the world right now is crazy, but it could be a lot fucking worse 100%. Too, you know? And just having that perspective of how grateful we are to, you know, have a roof over our heads and food to eat and water. It's like we have so much, and just having that kind of perspective has just changed me on a day-to-day for sure. As someone who used to be super, super anxious, super basically anorexic for a year and a half, it's just really helped me mentally a lot. So you, I think, are doing so well, obviously. Like, you are thriving. You've had a lot of change in the past year.
I have.
So let's talk about that. Okay. So your mom passed away.
She did. So my mom was diagnosed last July 2020 with ALS, which kind of came out of nowhere. She was fine. Yeah. And then maybe March or April, she started having issues going up and down the stairs. Right. Her speech started to slur a little bit, and we weren't sure what was going on. And so we went, the world kind of shut down for a while. So then in May, when things were starting to reopen, we went and did some preliminary tests. They said they thought it could be something neurological. They came back in July and confirmed it was ALS, and it was devastating.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, no, it's okay. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I was devastated. Yeah. My mom and I were very, very close. We were best friends. And honestly, when I see you with your mom, it reminds me so much of me and my mom, because you guys have that closeness.
Such a light, like her from her Instagram comments to the DMs. Like everyone loved this lady. So awesome. I'm so sorry for what you had to go through, but I know she looks down on you with so much love and confidence, and I'm sure this has made you a stronger person in a lot of ways.
It has. It was, I mean, when she was diagnosed, they gave us 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
So we thought we had more time. She did start to decline. I was her sole caretaker, which I loved doing whatever. I mean, my mother was always so generous and was just an incredible mom. So I had no issues taking care of her. We lived together. I cared for her. And then, it was December 10th. I left that morning. She told me I looked cute. I went to the grocery store and I was picking up, I was going to make dinner. I was going to make chicken parm. And I was going to get Christmas ornaments. We were going to decorate the tree that night. And I came home and I found her and I tried to resuscitate her, and she was gone. And it was the day was a blur. It was a very difficult day. Yeah. But I'm so grateful to have, my boyfriend was my first call, and he came to me immediately. Julia, Kayla, my friends from cheerleading were there with as quickly as they could be. They were there and they stayed with me, and I lived with them for months while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So that sisterhood is something that I am so grateful for.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely been a lot of change not having her. Yeah. I mean, even I've had to grow up in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
And it's funny because, I would, my boyfriend and I, when we moved in together, I would have to go find throw pillows, and I just wanted to text my mom or FaceTime her from Home Goods and be like, do you like this one or this or that one? And so it's definitely been hard. I didn't realize how much I relied on her and talked to her. But when you lose your someone like your mother, everything that they, or your parent, anything that they've taught you, suddenly it's like anything I would ask her or advice I need, I don't have to ask her because I know what she would say and I know the right thing to do.
Oh my God.
It's kind of wild. And you know what I was just thinking? You mentioned something earlier and it reminded me I have to show it to you. So shortly after she passed, I went to Tampa because Camille was in Tampa and we were going to go to a Bucs game. And Camille was like, I want you to come out here. I want to take care of you. And she's just an incredible friend. So I went out there and I was staying in a hotel. It was a high-rise. And Camille saw a sunset and she took a picture. And I have to show you this picture. It's wild. Literally in the clouds. So she was like, I saw the sunset and the sun was shining down in your hotel. And I just got this like feeling of your mom. Like I could just feel your mom and I had to take this picture. And I'm like, okay. So she sends it to me. And I honestly, my first reaction was I wanted to throw up. I was like, is this a joke? And she was like, no. And I go, Camille, like I can literally see my mom's face in the clouds. And she was like, oh my God. And everyone like literally can see her face in the clouds. And
that's
such
insane.
a weird. I'm going to show you the picture.
That's amazing.
It like was the weirdest moment, but
that's
I just
amazing.
felt like she was. I feel like she's always with me. I can feel her, and I always know what to do in a situation because of her.
Of course.
It's been a really
she
tough
is
year.
with you. She is with you. You know, she's with you not only in a spiritual sense that she's literally with you on a day-to-day, but she's with you in your memories and she's with you in the advice that you know is deep in your heart.
Yes.
Yeah, I just got teary-eyed. You saying,
I know, I'm trying so hard not to cry.
I know.
I will not cry.
I really appreciate you opening up and sharing this because this is a difficult thing to talk about, but it's something everyone will go through in life. It really is. And I think that what you've gotten out of it and how you're living your day-to-day right now is so inspiring. It's so inspiring. So I'm so proud to know you, but you should be really proud of yourself too because
I'm trying. I think what we did raising money for ALS was awesome, and it's something that I want to get back into.
Yeah.
We had started, I think I mentioned it earlier, with the label, which is a Boston clothing brand. We did sports bras that said fight across them with my mom's initials and the Pete Frates Foundation initials, and 100% of the proceeds went to the Pete Frates Foundation. So I've been thinking I feel bad I stopped. I was just so, honestly, I was so angry at ALS.
Yeah.
And I just like didn't want to even associate it. I was so angry.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of in a place.
Don't feel bad though because you're always doing what you need to be doing in that exact moment.
It's true. But now I feel like, I'm like, okay, it's been like 10 months. We're coming on a year. I feel like I should do something in her memory and something to give back so that other families don't have to go through this. I mean, when I think about the outpouring of love and support I got from all the people around us, my mother was, we had 2 sets of stairs in the house and she couldn't go up or down the stairs.
Yeah.
And the chairlifts are so expensive and we had so many expenses at the time.
Right.
And so I work for Nurse Fiona Med Spa. Fiona has a nonprofit organization and it was actually the first donation. She had just started the foundation. It was the first donation she made to my mother and I, and gave us money to buy the chairlifts, which
amazing.
Literally it changed my mom's life because she just wanted to go outside and get fresh air, have a cup of tea on the front porch, go to her doctor's appointments.
Right.
And so she was able to do that. So now I'm kind of in a place where I'm like, okay, it's time for me to give back and try to raise money for this initiative and like get back on it. I just needed a little bit of like a reprieve.
Absolutely. I feel like, you really went through so much alone as
it was in a short time.
Yes, it was very quickly.
Yeah,
it was very quickly.
Really fast.
Which must have been just a whirlwind for you because first you get the news of the diagnosis.
And we're like, okay, we have time.
Yeah, and you're adjusting to that lifestyle, and then she passes away.
Yeah, it was very sudden.
Yeah, and you're just so strong for doing that alone in a sense as her only child, but you also created this family around you that is your best friends, that is your boyfriend, because I've seen the way people love you, and that's family. That's family. So I think that's just so special because, your mom did pass and you did lose someone so important to you, but it really showed you as well how many amazing people you have.
It really did. Even just with the Sports Bra Initiative before she passed, seeing how many complete strangers reached out to me, reached out to my mom and donated. It was incredible. And then, of course, seeing all of my close friends and family and how they responded, it was amazing. I mean, if I didn't have Julia and Kayla and Camille, like my cheer sisters, I don't know what I would have done. Yeah. Honestly, they were just incredible support system.
And it's because you are so amazing as a friend and a person as well that's what you get.
I always try to be.
Yeah. Well, what you put out there is what you get back. So all the love you receive is 100% what you are deserving of and what you give to the world as well.
I agree.
So is that billboard that you were on, was that the sports bra?
That wasn't. So
that was different. Did that say Boston?
Different. It just had Boston, yeah.
I love the Fight Sports bra. I wear it all the time. I have it here. It's amazing. Aww. Super, super high quality. I love the label.
They were really nice.
Yes, it's super, super comfortable. I work out in it all the time. Can you still buy one?
So I think we're sold out now, but I want to maybe start something else. Like, get back on it. So we'll have to have that discussion. But they are sold out. They did really well. We sold out a couple of times.
That's amazing. Definitely let me know if you do anything else. I'll make sure to do some promo for it and then support it, of course. But
thank you.
I'm so proud of how far you've come, and you really inspire me too, because like I was talking about before, being independent is something that I've struggled with a lot, just mentally, as someone who has always been super close to my family. I went to school really close to home so I could stay home. I really struggled with that a lot. So to see you essentially just
feel like I was forced into it by the universe, but it's not a bad thing. I didn't realize how many things my mom still did for me, even though I'm like an adult. I didn't realize how much stuff she did for me in terms of just like, I don't know, paying my fast pass, like just taking care of little things for me.
How do you feel like you've grown? Do you feel like you're just...
I feel like I've grown so much. I feel like I can survive on my own. And I mean, I can, not to say I didn't have so much help from so many people and so much love, but I'm definitely stronger than I thought I was. I never thought I could survive without my mom. So I'm stronger than I thought.
Yes, and you are, and you're doing so well right now. And whatever happens in life, have it be someone passing away or a pandemic, you know, with every difficult thing that happens, there's that equal and opposite reaction on the other side that's inevitably there. It's inevitably there no matter what. It's how it's legit science. It's science. True. It's so true. So I'm glad that you're able to see the other side of things and that you are doing so well. So
I'm trying.
You are. You inspire me all the time. I love talking to you.
Right back at you.
I love talking to you. You're such an authentic soul.
Thank you.
It's amazing. So thank you so much for sharing everything with your mom.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate that. So let's talk about you on that billboard, girlfriend. Holy shit, that was so cool.
So
give a little like reference of what I'm talking about here.
So when the label reached out to me to do a billboard, I think they said it would be one. It ended up being two. I was kind of like, okay, like a billboard. I didn't really think anything of it. And I went in, I shot. So the first time I shot, I wore a black hoodie. I had my hair, I think it was up. And my mom was sick at the time. And I remember showing her the picture, super excited, like, Mom, this is going to be the billboard picture. And she was like, that's a cute picture, but that's not a billboard picture. And I was like, no, like, they hired makeup artists, like, the photographer, now my boyfriend, but the photographer, like, he took the picture, like, they put a lot of time into this. We shot for hours. Like, this is the final, like, he edited this. This is it. And she was like, no. I'm like, Mom, leave it alone. Do not meddle. Do not meddle in this. Maybe 20 minutes later, I get a text from one of the owners of the label, and he's like, hey, so I talked to your mom. We're going to reshoot. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean you talked to my mom? Of course, Zoe Bucuvalas DM'd them and was like, no, this picture's not billboard worthy. Like, she's reshooting. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh my God.
So she schedules my momager.
Legend.
My momager schedules this reshoot. And I'm like, okay, Mom, like, well, what do you want me to wear? And she's like, well, I want you to wear a red bikini. And so, like, growing up, my mom was, like, very conservative, like, never wanted me to show cleavage, we would fight about outfits. I would pack, like, an alternate outfit in my bag when I was in high school and change. She always wanted me to be, like, very covered up, never, always was, like, pro academics. Didn't want me to do, like, anything like the whole Patriots thing was my idea. She loved it and supported it once it happened, but she was, like, very academic, books. So I'm like, wait, a bikini? Like, you want me to be in a big billboard in a bikini? And she was like, yeah, a red one. I'm like, okay. So it's time to shoot the second shoot. I had my red bikini on, and I was like, oh, I have these cute red Converse sneakers. And she's like, oh, I like those. She's like, I think you have a little crop that has red Boston on it. Put that on. And I was like, okay. And she's like, that's it. Now, my mother was like 70. So this is like, but she was super hip. She was a young soul.
She nailed it.
She's like, this is it. And I'm like, okay, pants? She's like, no pants. Your bikini bottoms. I'm like, Mom. She's like, no, like, this is it. So I went in. They didn't, like, tell me anything specific to wear. I was like, what do you think about this? And they were like, okay, it's great. So we shot again, and Danny, the photographer, and I spent time going through the pictures.
No wonder he fell in love with you.
We picked the one that we both agreed on. He edited it, and that ended up being the billboard. And I remember Julia went and looked at it first. And she was like FaceTiming me, flipping out. And I didn't really think anything of it. But when I got there, it was actually a really, really cool moment. It was so much bigger than I thought it was going to be. It was like a very cool moment. I was kind of shocked. And then there was one. So there's one in Southie and one on Neyland Street. So it was definitely a cool moment. I'm super grateful for it. It was just fun. People would message me getting their morning Starbucks and like
so
send me
awesome.
a pic of it. And there I am in my like bathing suit. And it was funny to me because it just, every time I see that picture, reminds me of my mom being like, no, you're shooting in a bikini.
Yeah.
So. I
love that she rescheduled the shoot for you.
She DM'd them and rescheduled it.
That's amazing.
I was mortified. I was so
Be
embarrassed.
real though. Is the new photo better?
It's so much better.
It's so much better.
She was 100% right.
She nailed it.
But it was funny. So now they actually, I think we can almost see it from here across the street. They put like mini posters up.
That's what, like a sticker almost?
Yeah, so they put that
So
up.
anyone who has ever been on Causeway Street, right near the TD Garden, there is a life-size version of Zoe on Causeway Street.
And a couple of the other girls. So
yes.
Jocelyn and Alexis, they're both Celtics dancers, and they're awesome, like super sweet, beautiful girls inside and out. So they're up there too. But people put stickers over them all the time. Yeah. So a couple days after it happened, they put stickers on all of us. And we were kind of like bummed. We're like, okay, that kind of. And I was so nervous. I'm like, is somebody going to draw a mustache or like worse on me? So they covered us up. So Danny and I went to Zed when he was at Big Night Live. Yeah. And we crossed the street and we're like, oh my God, they covered you up. So I was joking around. I'm like, scrape it off. Like, we need to like uncover me. So he's scraping, like literally just trying to like literally this much, like just getting it off my fingers. Like there was no possible way we could scrape the whole thing off. And I posted it on Instagram. Yeah. And somebody reached out to me and my messages, and he was like, do you want me to like come and take care of this for you? Like I have the tools, I can get it off. And I was like, no, like we were just joking around. Like we knew it would be covered up. It's totally fine. Like it's fine. So driving here tonight.
You saw it.
I saw it and it's totally uncovered. So I called Danny and I was like, babe, did you put this back up? And he was like, no. So I think
someone literally came in the middle of the night,
maybe uncovered
and dug you up out of the coverage.
I think they did. So I'm gonna go down there.
That's true love.
And I'm gonna post it on Instagram and
be like, who did this?
Who did this? And I'm dying to see.
You have to tag me in that.
I will.
That's like, insane.
Who did this?
That's so cool though. That must be such a life moment to have yourself. Like you were a Patriots cheerleader, obviously, but I wouldn't say you're a full-time model. You literally just do this for fun because you're just hot.
I've always hustled and like had 3 or 4 jobs and just hustled my whole life. Yes. So modeling is definitely just like a side thing. And so it was definitely a fun
That's
moment.
So cool. Yeah. You rocked it too. You absolutely rocked it.
It's funny. My mom picked that outfit out.
She nailed it. I love your stories. Do you have any good Patriots stories? Do you have anything crazy? Julia wouldn't tell me anything too crazy. I feel like you will.
Crazy. I know, right? I was at a shoot my rookie year for the Pro Shop. And the night before, I decided I was going to get eyelash extensions. Yeah. So this was back again, 2013. Yeah. They weren't super in, but they were in. Right. And I went, I'm literally allergic to everything. Yeah. So I wake up and I have hives all over my eyes. And so my coach had picked 4 girls to do this. And I'm like, oh my God, like, oh my God. So I'm like taking Allegra, I'm taking Benadryl, I'm like putting creams. I'm like, I have to rally. Like I need to be on the shoot. You can't cancel. Like it's a non-option. So we get to one of the locker rooms that they used at the stadium. And the 4 of us, actually it was 3 of us. The 3 of us are shooting and I can just feel my eyes. They're getting itchier and itchier. I'm getting hives everywhere. So I'm like starting to panic because I want to look good for these pictures, so they get approved and they go in the catalog and up in the Pro Shop, and my coach is happy. So I'm like panicking and I'm just like in my own world, and I'm like, guys, I'm running to the bathroom, like I have to see what's going on with my face. So I get up and of course I'm like, this is my fabulous big shoot, I'm a rookie, like I got picked for this shoot. I'm walking into the bathroom and I bump into someone kind of hard, and I'm like, oh my God, like excuse me, like this is my
Do you
shoot.
Know who you're talking to?
And I come back from the bathroom and I'm like covered in hives, but it's like passable. And the girls are like sitting there and they're like, what? And they're like, do you know who you just walked into? And I'm like, no, who? It's fucking Tom Brady.
Stop.
Like, I literally just plowed through Tom Brady because, this was my moment in time to shoot. I just walked into Tom Brady.
Oh, my God.
And this is the crazy thing. Like, I didn't look up to be like, oh, hi, Tom Brady. Like, nothing. Like, didn't know it was him. Would have never known if they didn't see it. So I definitely walked into Tom Brady once.
Wow. Covered in hives.
Covered in
hives.
That's insane. Looking the best.
That's insane.
I got stuck in an elevator with Giselle. So for my 4 years, I never saw Giselle.
Yeah.
And every game, I'd be like, I just want to see Giselle in person.
Can we talk about how good she looks?
It's like
Did you watch the game last night? Did you see that shot when they panned in on Tom's parents?
Oh, they showed his mom and dad, and then they showed her right after.
I was like, I saw her, and I was like, is that like who? I know her daughter's super young. I was like,
yeah.
Who? She looks amazing. What is she doing?
So I feel like she doesn't wear makeup. I feel like she doesn't do her hair. I feel like she just naturally is beautiful. It's like an
stunning.
Effortless beauty. So for 4 years, I'm like, I just want to see Giselle in person. Yeah. So we would rotate during the games, and I was in the elevator with another cheerleader, and we were going to go up to the suites during one of the games. We would visit, take pictures. If it was someone's birthday, we'd wish them happy birthday. So we're going up, and we hear this voice saying, hold the elevator. And we both kind of looked at each other, and she had an accent.
That's the voice of a god.
And I was like, no, it can't be. And we see these two little kids running toward the elevator, and it's Vivian and Ben, their children. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's Giselle. And it was Giselle and her twin sister, and they get on the elevator. And I swear to God, some people just light up a room. Some people just have an energy. I'm really big on energy, and I feel like I can really feel people's energy. She just had this charismatic, light-filled energy. And so she gets in the elevator, and we're just kind of like, oh my God, it's Giselle. And the woman who is operating the elevator, so during the game, they'll sit there and they'll operate the elevators. She was like kind of nervous that it was Giselle, and she couldn't get the key to work. So we couldn't move. The doors were just open, and we were like kind of just stuck there. And she had a call for backup. And she was just like, I'm so sorry, just so nervous and apologizing to Giselle. And Giselle was like, honey, it's fine. No, don't worry. As long as I can see him playing. So there was a TV in front of us, and she could watch her hubby play.
Yes.
She's like, as long as I can see him play, I don't care. It's fine. She was like, just so sweet, tried to calm the girl down. So then Vivian asked if she could play with our pom-poms. So I handed her my pom-poms, and she's playing with them. And their son was so nervous. He was really little at the time. He was so nervous to be with the cheerleaders. And she was teasing him. She was like, do you want a picture with the cheerleaders? And I remember he pulled his winter cap down over his face because he was so embarrassed. And she was like belly laughing at the fact that he was so nervous in front of us. And
That's awesome.
She was so sweet to us. I think sometimes, girlfriends or wives can be a little weird with the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Even though there's no reason to be.
Yeah.
I feel like it's better now, but it was a thing. And she was just so cool with us. And
she seemed
so sweet.
So
and she's
cool.
like, do you guys want a picture? Like, she wanted Benjamin to take a picture with us. He was too nervous to, but she was so sweet. She was so sweet to the girl who was so nervous about the elevator. And then we eventually
I've heard such good things about her. I heard she helps Tom manifest.
I love that.
Have you heard that?
I hadn't, but I love that.
Apparently her quote was, she's like, yeah, Tom's lucky. He married a witch, and I'm a good witch. Because she essentially will create like these little shrines for him before the game.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
Crystals and photos of the kids, and will help him visualize him winning the game before it happens.
I will say I don't want to call him lucky because he's just so incredibly talented.
Because he's Tom Brady.
But last night was hard for me because I'm a Tom Brady. I can't root against Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, I've been a Patriots fan since I was born, so I can't root against the Pats. So I decided last night just to root for offense. Whoever was on offense, I was rooting for because I couldn't decide.
Yes.
I went back and forth,
yes.
like wanting Tom to win, wanting the Pats to win. It was very confusing and emotional.
It was a lot.
But that game was awesome.
This is why you can't date more than one person.
Right.
I'm telling you right now.
Right.
You can't do it.
But I will give it to the Patriots. I thought it was going to be a blowout. Mac Jones.
What a cutie pie.
Wow. Like he played and his girlfriend, or his wife, I think he's married, right?
Stop. No, he's 23. He can't be.
He's married.
Stop.
I'll Google it after.
Me and Mac Jones have the same birthday.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
September 5th.
Are you Virgo?
Yes.
Oh, love that. But his girlfriend or wife, she is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I've seen her just on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful and so cute, and they seem so cute together. But he played, I
heard that they practiced the plays together.
Oh my God, that's adorable.
Yes, I think so.
That's so cute.
I think he's Patriots material, 100%.
100%. I thought it was going to be a blowout. He held his own. It was a great game. That field goal at the end kind of broke my heart because I was like, oh my God, we just won. I thought we had it. And then the thud was so loud when it hit the goal.
He broke his streak too. He had like he
looked so sad.
I know, but like.
But then I'm like,
it happens.
Tom, he won. He
did
it.
At the end of the day, it was Tom's game.
Did you see what he said after the game when they interviewed him on the field? I started crying.
What did he say? I had to turn it off.
He was just saying like, I don't know, he was saying that he was thanking the fans here and that he loves Boston. He loves the area that his kids were born here, and he just like really loves it here and will always come back and would like come back and like watch games and stuff when it's time. And it was just very it was like very sweet, and I was glad he took the time to acknowledge it. I was nervous people were going to boo him. I mean,
I think he has to understand the mix, you know?
Right. Like, and he said that. He acknowledged it. He said at the end, like, they were so happy and like I was well received, but at the end, like, you knew who they were cheering for. They wanted their Patriots to win, and which is, you know, how it should be.
It is how it should be.
Right.
I miss him. I do, but I'm really happy that we have this awesome new player that
and our defense looked great last night.
We looked really good. I think everyone's really excited with that game overall.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't end up being the winners at the end of it,
but close. We held our own.
Everyone should feel pretty good about that game at the end of it. So that was really exciting. Do you think you'll go to any games this season?
Yeah, I definitely will.
Yeah.
I love going to the games.
Yeah.
It's like it makes me kind of sad, but also it's like kind of fun to be able to eat a hot dog and have like a drink.
Yes.
And have like a short
and
day.
Have clothes on.
I was I was seeing the girls on Instagram and stuff, and those girls, they were there 12, 13 hours before the game.
Yes.
I mean, for a 1 o'clock game, we used to get there at like 6 a.m. You'd wake up at 4. So people don't realize like it is a really long day. And it's an exhausting day.
It's a lot.
You have to be hair and makeup ready and like on point the entire day. It's a long day. And I know they were there even earlier because it was such a big game.
Right.
So they were dancing in the rain, and they were just,
God bless
they were troopers.
them.
Yeah.
God bless them. They deserve more credit in
my
opinion.
I totally agree.
They totally do.
So, but I'll definitely go to a game. I like going to the Cole games.
Yeah.
This is kind of bitchy, but like I hate when I see people go to like the nice weather games.
Yeah.
And they're like drinking their wine, and the girls are, I am like a full glam stiletto girl.
Yes.
But people are like in their heels, and I'm like, no. I want like fucking like it's freezing. You're wearing 10 layers. You can't move. Like it's snowing. Like beers being spilled in you, like a full authentic game day
real
experience,
thing.
like the gritty like football experience. So I like to go like later in the season when it's like cold.
I'll need to go then. Fun. I need that real authentic experience.
It's I think
good
it's
to know.
Authentic.
Good to know. All right, so we've covered a lot here.
We've covered so much. Yeah,
we've covered a lot, but I have an interesting question for you, and it kind of goes back before all of this.
Okay.
So if you could talk to younger Zoe, maybe like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, what would you say to her?
That's like a really heavy question.
I know.
I would
That's what I do here.
Say I think I would probably say just to really believe in yourself and not second guess yourself. And like when you want something, like I am relentless. When I want something, I will get it. Like I will go after it. But probably maybe to have, I like to think I'm a very confident person, but like I'm going back to the body dysmorphia or body image issues. That's something I would really try to like instill in young Zoe to be confident in that aspect.
I love that.
That's a tough question.
I know, but I like the confidence issue because not the confidence issue, the confidence answer
maybe,
because
you know what else?
What?
You know
what?
Maybe to be different with men.
Okay. How
because
so?
I feel like you don't realize the power you have as a woman, especially like in high school and when you're young. You don't realize like the power that you have.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel like for a long time it was like, I'm going to wear this to impress a guy, or act this way to impress a guy, or play this game, or send this text because it will invoke this response. And I'm going to post this to make him jealous, or like stupid games. I would say just to be able to be on your own and not have to be in a relationship or get that validation from a man. Yeah. And like when the right one comes, the right one will come because you will know. That has always been my thing. I'm always like, I was in a long-term relationship before. Was he the one? I never knew. Like, it was always a question.
Yeah.
And now the relationship I'm in, it's like, there is no question. Like, I know he's the one.
Yeah.
So you'll know when you know, and don't try to be in a relationship or seek validation that you don't need to be in. Like, you'll be okay being on your own until the right one comes. I think that's what I would tell.
That's a phenomenal answer.
Zoe.
And I think you telling that to your younger self honestly could help you with some of the issues that you still feel like you're facing now today.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like healing's possible, and healing the things that you feel like could have been different when you were younger is the key to finding presence and joy now. So true. I love that answer.
Yeah, I think that would probably be it.
I love that. And I'm going to ask you one more deep question.
Okay.
I always ask this question when I feel like things are going like in a deep way.
Okay.
And I feel like you'll like it.
Okay.
What do you think your purpose is?
Oh, that's really tough.
It is so hard.
I think I'm still trying to figure out my purpose. I think it's been something I've always kind of like, what is my purpose? For a little bit, I thought maybe it was what I was doing with the ALS and raising money and trying to help people. I think my ultimate goal, and I always say this to my boyfriend, is I want to start a nonprofit and I want to help children.
Yeah.
I just, anytime I think of a child being hungry and not having a meal or not having a roof over their head, it makes me want to cry. Like, it makes me sick because I've always been so fortunate and blessed to have those things and so much more that I probably didn't even need. Yeah. So I want to eventually start something to help children. So I think that's probably my purpose, and maybe at some point being a mom.
Yeah. I love that. Those are such great answers. And you've mentioned a couple times wanting to get back into charitable work. Do you think you'll do that soon?
I do. It's something that's really important to me. I feel my mother was really big on that.
Yeah.
I remember being little, like really little, and she would go through my closet and be like, okay, what doesn't fit you? What do you not really wear? What do you not need? And she would make me back it up and take it and donate it. She would have me volunteer at Father Bill's Place, which is a homeless shelter in Quincy. She would do a Christmas drive every year, pictures with Santa, and 100% of the proceeds would go to Father Bill's Place. So it was really something that was important to her, and that's how she raised me. And then getting into the Patriots, they're so big on community service throughout New England, and we would do so many charitable events.
Yeah.
I remember one event that we did. It was a Christmas toy drive, and it was right around Christmas time, and it was maybe like 150 children who literally were not going to have a Christmas tree. They were not getting, like, Santa was not coming to their house. They're not getting a present. Christmas was not a thing for them. They were just very, very poor. And so the Patriots would set up this entire event. The players would go to it. They would just, every food, every dessert, Santa would come. The kids would wrap the Patriots players up in Christmas wrapping paper.
Awesome.
And the cheerleaders would be there. And just seeing these kids opening these gifts, it was like the most...
That's awesome.
And I'm thinking, like, I'm an adult and I have so many presents under the tree, and these are children who are so excited they just got a coloring book and that's it. This is their Christmas right now, and I'm here experiencing it with them. It really, like, I think that was like a moment that like really changed me. And working with the Patriots and doing that charitable work, it's something that's really important to me. And I felt great when I was doing the project, the initiative for my mom, and it's been like kind of weighing on me. I'm like, I need to like do something.
But I don't even think it's out of a place of, like, you shouldn't feel bad.
No.
Because, you had to get back on your feet. You had to, feel stable in your life. But I think it's something that's makes you happy and feel fulfilled. So
it does.
I would look into that because, there's paying positions as well in charities. Like, it can be your job in a sense. So that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think
that'd be awesome.
I definitely need to look into.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. So last question, what's next? What do you want to do in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you see yourself?
5 to 10 years. That's a good question. Definitely starting something or working with a nonprofit and doing something in that vicinity, because that makes me feel very fulfilled. I definitely want to be a mom. I want to get married and have kids in the next 5 years.
I love that.
That's really important to me, having a family life. And I just want to continue to travel. I love traveling. It's been a little tough.
I want to travel with you.
You know where I want to go next?
Where?
I want to go to Ireland.
I can show you Ireland.
I want to go to Ireland.
I love Ireland.
So I want to travel, and I just kind of want to be creative.
Yeah,
and explore.
I love that.
I just started a football podcast. Well, I didn't start it. I just joined a football podcast. I
love that for you.
They existed last season. I'm just now the host now. So that's been fun. I kind of want to see where that goes.
Yeah,
and just keep modeling and
fantastic
working and
keep being the light that you are, my girl. Thank you so much for coming on here today.
Me. I feel like I could talk to you like forever.
I feel like I could talk to you forever. I will definitely have to have you back on the show sometime. It's nice because I feel like I got to know you so much better too.
I know.
This is really awesome. You are such a positive light. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Thank you so much for sharing your story with my audience.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited to see all the stuff you do in the future and be a part of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Much love for you.
So much love for you. Thank you.
Thank you.